Welcome back to Sam's Upholstery. Today I have a 1970 Mustang that has so many custom things done to it, it's almost funny. And to help break down some of those custom things, I have Mike Tilley with Tilley's Custom Restoration. Mike, thanks for coming down today.
You bet, you bet.
So, I mean, the thing's phenomenal.
Thank you. Thank you.
Kind of break it down, like what all has been done. Start with this color. What is
Well,
that?
the color is off of a 2014 Shelby GT500. It's a deep impact blue, and we use Sickens paint at our shop because it's a very high-end paint that looks great on old hot rods. The white is an Oxford white for the stripes, and the gray is a sterling gray. We blacked out all the accents on the car to kind of give it a sinister look and use smoked glass.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
Does that have like a little bit of metallic?
It does, it does. It's got a lot of pearl, so when it's in sunlight, it shifts greatly from a purple to a bright royal blue.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Wow. So what about up here?
The front end, well, the front end's kind of, if you're coming and seeing this thing going down the road, it's going to catch your attention. We got LED lights, a custom billet grill, it's been blacked out, carbon fiber front bumper and spoiler, and everything's been smoothed off. Like on the traditional Mustangs, you have a major body line right here, and then you have a big bumper that sticks out a mile. So we got rid of all that and tucked it in nicely.
Beautiful job.
Thank you. Yeah, we spent a lot of time blocking and fitting and getting gaps straight. We like to call this a stir-stick gap, so it's a consistent gap all the way around it. To us, and I know to you, the little details make and break a build.
Oh, absolutely.
Sure.
I mean, that's what makes stuff stand out.
Absolutely.
You know, and then coming from a factory, you know, you'd have 3/8 of a gap on this side.
Yeah, and then on the other side, you know it. This is what we call a true OEM plus. How the factory should have done it or would do it today. So,
yeah. And what'd you do with the hood?
The hood is
a little bit bigger.
I got some time in this one. It took a lot of thought to get it to clear the supercharger and the intake manifold. So believe it or not, this is actually a 6-inch rise that we built out of metal and then used the fiberglass scoop.
Oh, so you guys made it?
We built this in-house, yes. We cut the whole inside out of it and then built it from there, because as you can see, when you open the hood, it's a little different than a factory Mustang.
Wow, look at that.
Which she's a little dusty and dirty right now, but really, the cool stuff all happened in here to get it to clear. And it's hard to see, but the customer also wanted a snake into the bottom of the hood to kind of match the Shelby accents.
Oh yeah, it's almost like ghosted.
It is. It's a ghosted in, so once
it's a little subtle touch.
That car shows outside was really the big thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, lots of little details.
So tell me about the motor here.
Well, the motor is a 2015 Shelby GT500 motor. It's got a factory tuned pack that's supposed to put it out above 700 horsepower.
So is that like 760?
They're saying 770 roughly. Yeah. And then the firewall in the engine bay is really, really cool because we completely cut off everything and redid the panels. We had to move the firewall and relocate the transmission tunnel. And then from there, we just tried to dress it up with making nice panels to cover all the hoses and the wiring and stuff like that.
How much did you have to move that firewall?
Well, that's part of a secret. I can say we moved it at least, that was more than 3 inches. I would say closer to 6, but you know, the thing is, getting it in there is the easy part, but getting it all to function and have your coolers and then, you know,
just how tight of a fit it is.
That's just it. That's just it. And then, you know, you have the supercharger, which adds other things to it as well.
So is that the Whipple or the Kennel?
That is, I believe it's the Whipple. I know it's the one off the factory car.
Right.
That's built for it. So.
And Ford didn't have a GT500 package at the time of the build.
They had the...
You had to buy a wrecked car.
We had to buy a wrecked car, yes, right. That is correct. That is correct. We bought a wrecked car and took all the wiring out of it and motor and transmission, and we went from there.
Wow.
So
what's the transmission?
It's the factory Trimec. It's a 6-speed Trimec. Yep.
Very nice.
Yep. So
very nice.
It's perfect for the motor and doing the speed that it's capable of doing.
Yeah. So I mean, you got it to go. What are you stopping it with?
They are custom Willwood brakes. I think they're a 14 or 16-inch rotor with 6 piston in the front and 4 piston in the rear.
Drilled and slotted.
Yep, drilled and slotted. At the time of building this, I think it was the biggest one that they offer. And those are the black calipers, the anodized black. So, and then the wheels we also incorporated off of a 2015 Mustang. Those are the actual Shelby GT500 wheels there.
Really?
Yeah.
I was gonna say they're freaking nice.
Yeah, we wanted to put it
in the car perfectly.
That's what we were thinking. We wanted to put it next to another new Mustang, and it looked like it was just like it.
Yeah.
So that was the goal. And then the stance we got with custom coilovers and tuning around with the Mustang 2 suspension and the 4-link suspension in the back. So it's actually about 5 inches lower than factory.
Really?
Yeah, it really is on the ground. When you look at it.
But it just looks right.
It does. It does. It would not clear a pop can. Not clear a pop can whatsoever. So, yeah.
Looks like you have some flush mount door handles here.
Yes. We have flush mount door handles that we put in, and that's a brushed steel that we did with clear coat over it, so they'll hold up.
King Diggett style?
It's Ken Diggett's, yes.
Very
Ken
nice.
Diggett's, yep. And then we put the 69 side scoops on it because we like the look of it.
Are they functional?
They are not functional.
That's all right.
They are not functional. They're more for style.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and we like the idea of the bezel in on the quarter panel because on a car this clean and smoothed off, it really, I think, adds a nice element of design to have that pop out.
It pays homage to the 70s
That's
era
right.
of what it actually was.
So the 3D style of it, I think, just brings out the curves and the sail panel and everything too. So, yeah.
Well, let's take a look at the interior.
Yes.
The first thing I noticed when I opened up the door to this car is the strong smell of leather. We used an aircraft grade gray leather. We have white accents going through the TMI seats that we reupholstered to kind of model the 50th anniversary of that 2017 GT500 that so many of the parts are used in throughout this car. We have a custom dash trimmed in the gray leather and then accented with a blue tuxedo stitching. The center console houses your up and down windows. It also has a power switch to turn on all the accent lighting that we have throughout the car. We have acrylic rings behind custom press raised mesh in our door panels and in our rear sail panels. We carry that same accent lighting going to the subwoofer box in the rear, and I'll put a link up above there that you can kind of see how we made that. But with that subwoofer box, it houses two JL TW3 10-inch subwoofers. They're nice, shallow mount, gives you good quality sound without taking up a whole lot of real estate in the car. If you look at the box, we have the white accents which kind of line up perfectly with the white stripes that are on the outside of the car. So visually, as you're looking over the whole vehicle, and nothing really stops and catches your eye. You know, that stripe just kind of carries on through. We paid homage to the 1970 Mustang rear seat area by keeping that same flip down seat. Flipping that down allows you to see the ported subwoofer box underneath, which carries that same custom aluminum speaker mesh that we used in the rest of the vehicle. The rear door panels are actually a Fessler door panel that we wrapped in the same gray leather throughout the car. We added two stainless cup holders on both the driver and passenger side, and as you can see on the bottom here, we actually have a billet aluminum door vent. Well, that actually gives us access to the sound coming from behind this, where we have a pair of 6x9s mounted. The carpeting that we ended up using on this was a gray square weave, and we trimmed the borders of everything in the same gray leather that we wrapped everything else with. As you can tell, we're pretty proud of how this interior turned out. With all the custom accents of the lighting, the billet aluminum, and custom stitch work that we did, we feel like this is what Ford would have done if they came out with this GT500 back in the day. It has a nice luxury sport feel to it that really complements all the work that was done on the outside of the car.
So, Mike, tell me what you did on the back here.
On the back, we used the style of spoiler that is on the 2015 or 2014 Shelby Mustang. We molded that in as well as our body kit and ground effects. The bumper has been tucked completely to fit the body just right.
Look at the tolerance.
Yeah, I know.
It took some time.
It took some time to get it just right. Really, the hard part, is getting this rounded corner and then the contour down.
Following that, right?
Yeah, and on the factory Mustangs, they always come with a seam right here from the rear valance to the quarter panel. Well, we made that all one piece because we think it looks so much better just smooth.
Right.
So.
Right. Then you have the Shelby emblem.
The Shelby emblem in the back, yep. And then we did a custom gas cap. That's kind of one of our nice signature touches we do on our show cars. So we have, incorporates the Snake and the Shelby GT500.
And I saw you did that on the steering wheel too.
Yes, yep,
That's
we
kind of
did as
cool,
well.
kind of tying
Tying
that
it
outside,
together.
inside. Yeah.
Yep, we really try to do those nice touches. And then one thing, these stripes and all the paint scheme and the side graphics, they are all painted and clear coated over, so they're actually buried into the paint.
I appreciate that too,
Yeah.
because so many times you go to those shows
I
and
know.
like you're looking down such a perfect body like
Right.
that, and then you have that little bump.
It just gives it such a mirror finish when you do it like that.
Yeah.
So, and for a show car like this, it's really, really the right way to do it. So,
Absolutely.
and then the exhaust is all stainless. We use custom tips that we built for the rear valance to fit, and with the crazy suspension and everything in it, it was really difficult for the exhaust. I have to pay homage to Pete Iowa Muffler for that one.
Yep.
All
Yep.
stainless and TIG. They do wonderful work, and it has kind of like that Roush sound, but
Yeah.
a little snarl to it. So.
Nice throaty,
Yeah,
throaty
yeah.
sound to it. So turn signal, sequential? Or?
Sequential LED. All
Very
LED
nice.
lights in the car. Yep. So they're sequentials, just like the new Mustangs are. Yep. And then we built in the third brake light as well.
I
Just
saw
to,
that, that's all flushed in.
yeah, just to give it extra visibility. That, you know, if he ever does drive, he doesn't knock or anything like
Right,
that.
right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and I tried to tie in with the interior,
Yeah.
that white stripe.
I
trying to
really
continue
like
on
that in the back. I've
That's
never
really-
seen anybody do anything three-dimensional in the back like that, and that looks sweet.
Well,
It really
that's what we
does.
were trying to accomplish with it. I
Yeah.
mean, so many times you can get them and it's just a square box.
Right.
It's just hideous.
And the back seats in these cars are that way. I think.
Exactly. Yeah, because you have that rear seat tied into with that Fessler panel, and then you have a space this
Right.
big. Like, what do you do with it?
Yeah, nothing.
So
the jump.
just tie it all the way in, and then you can still sit down the back seat and see the ported look, like I talked about there. And I don't know what else to say on this. This car is absolutely gorgeous.
Well, thank you.
What'd you use for like a custom tank or?
So it's a fuel cell, I believe, and I think it's one of the bigger ones. It's 22 gallons, so it'd be
Very
good.
nice.
It'd be a good cruising tank, you know.
So you can get like maybe 2-3 miles before you run out
well,
of
if
gas.
your
with
foot's
this.
on it, you bet, you bet. Yeah, I think it's got a pretty good range on it. I bet you can go out putzing most of the day and afternoon and not have a problem.
I don't think you get in these cars and worry about that.
That's just it. That's just
Economy
it.
mode.
Right.
As you can see in the trunk, we trimmed everything in that same aircraft grade leather. The left and right side are actually a magneted panel that you can pop off super easy. So if you have needed access to your battery, you can pop this little insert out, disconnect the battery and work on it. The same with the right, it hides the fuse block. So you're not crawling up underneath the dash and trying to hold a flashlight and fix a fuse. The center has an access panel as well, which gives you access to the sending unit. You can see we have a Zapco amp that we trimmed with an acrylic ring and backlit to really kind of make that pop and stand out. It still leaves you a little bit of room if you have cleaning rags and stuff like that you can still throw in there without taking up the entire trunk.
So tell me about the emblem down here. Is that painted in?
Yes,
as well?
yes, that is painted in as well.
GT500 Mach 1. I don't
Yeah.
think 70 came out with a
No.
GT500.
No, so the GT500, it pays homage to the Super Snake motor and transmission that it has, and then the M1, it pays respect to the 1970 era Mach 1. So when we put the two together, we call it the GT500 M1. Kind of a good nickname for the car.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that I saw that emblem. That's what I kind of tied in
Yeah,
on the
it
door
looks
panels
beautiful in
and
the
everything
interior.
through the door panel. Just kind of carry that same logo.
Yeah, just
all
like our
through.
horn and gas cap and everything, just
Yeah.
all flows together. I think it worked out great.
Has a theme.
Exactly.
Well, that's going to do it for us today at Sam's Upholstery. I'd like to thank you, Mike,
Yeah.
for coming down and kind of explaining the
Oh,
build
thank you.
process.
Thank you.
Make sure you guys check out Tilley's Custom Restoration. I'll make sure I put links to their website, social media, and all that stuff. Make sure you like and subscribe, and comment. We want to know what you liked most about this video, and we'll see you next time.